Hello and welcome to the Outside the Cockpit live watch along for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix qualifying as we are just yet to go, as they're just got to go for qualifying. Yeah, first qualifying session is almost underway as the cars are just making their way outside. And boy, do we have a qualifying on our hands, obviously, because with Abu Dhabi, even with the new track changes, qualifying is going to be huge in determining really the championship, I think, as well, and the chances at who really has the best chance at winning the race. And I think from what we've seen from practice between FP1, FP2, and FP3, Mercedes and Red Bull are going to really be the two front runners up there. I think Lewis Hamilton really has a strong chance with the momentum that he's carrying to take pole position over Max Verstappen. But again, we saw last year in Abu Dhabi, Max Verstappen did get pole and win from pole as well. So who knows? It's really up in the air as of right now as cars start to make their way out to the track. And should be exciting to see who comes out on top and who ultimately gets pole position for the last time this season. Yeah, should be exciting for sure. And as we just pull up the live leaderboards as cars start to go on to the track as well, Verstappen, Perez out there. Yeah, Verstappen's out there right now, actually. Sorry. I don't know if Perez is for sure as well out there. But I think really some things to look forward towards kind of going into this last qualifying session. I want to see really if the Alpines kind of repeat their pace like they did in practice 2, where they really just showed a lot of pace there. And I wonder if they're able to, put that into qualifying. Again, I don't know if it's going to go fully into the race pace fully. It's going to convert into, a solid race position on Sunday and a race win, or sorry, high race finish on Sunday. But regardless, right now, it's still up in the air. So it looks like every car is on softs except for Leclerc and Sainz, who are on mediums, which is interesting because it is Q1, so they don't really have to do the whole Q2 rule, which is just an interesting strategy move by Ferrari, the fact that they're just starting on the mediums over the softs like everyone else. And it looks like Max Verstappen is now starting his timed lap. So we'll see. We'll kind of watch along with him as he goes around, see where he is. Now, again, I know last time I kind of jinxed him. So this time, when it's near the end of Q3, I'm just going to be silent because I don't want to jinx anything. Now, again, I know it's a different track, so you never know. It's not Saudi Arabia where he could possibly hit into the wall. But regardless, I just want to be safe here because last thing I want to know is jinx another driver out of pole position. Live speed 326, not too bad. 325 as now it looks like Lewis Hamilton is now making his way out of the pit and onto the track. Currently purple in the first sector, obviously, because again, regardless, he's the only one out there, so he's setting their time just at the beginning. But he is looking to be, on a pretty quick lap so far. Perez sets the fastest lap as it stands right now, 124, 253. I think honestly, if I could see some 123s or even a 122 if they can push it, really. I mean, like 122 would be an insanely fast lap, but I think really like a 123 flat, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that today. Considering now Tsunoda goes to 123.993, yeah, we can definitely see some 122s for sure. Verstappen goes fast as 123.680. So right now it's really just Red Bull and AlphaTauri up there. Leclerc goes fourth fastest, 124.745. As we look at Kelly Piquet, Max's girlfriend. Yeah, really, honestly, this season has been crazy with qualifying, determining pole position as well and who really has the upper hand. And as it stands right now, it's really up in the air. But I mean, like, it's going to be a great qualifying session as Lewis Hamilton looks to go for his first timed lap here, just warming up as he goes for his out lap. Man, it's early in the morning. It's 8 a.m. and I'm like, gotta get up and one of the Haas is going off wide there. So just losing a little bit. I don't know exactly. It's going to be interesting as well how aggressive the curbs are going to be because obviously the track was changed and then they had to resurface a little bit and they had to fix the curbs and, because they had to remake the curbs or remove, change the position of the curb. So obviously, but now with a lot of cars being driven on it, there's a lot of rubber being driven on it. So it's got a lot of wear and tear for sure. So I don't know if that's going to be much of an issue, but I know we saw in Saudi Arabia at the Jeddah circuit where they were telling people to stay off the curbs a lot. So as Lewis Hamilton goes for his flying lap around Yas Marina circuit. Alrighty, how's he doing so far right now as it stands? Alrighty. Green in the first sector, no purple first sector. Currently about 37 seconds into his lap, looking pretty solid. Again, it's still early on to tell really who has the upper hand, but it really depends on who puts together the best single lap, really. Alan, appreciate the comments. Okay, so he goes purple in the second sector, so faster than Verstappen. I wonder what that time is. Goes around to the final sector here. Crosses the line. Yeah, and he has 4/10 clear of Verstappen. So early on, Hamilton showing and Mercedes as well that they have the pace. Bottas goes second fastest. Yeah, this could be troublesome for Red Bull. Mercedes is showing the pace early on in Q1. Oh, Russell goes 8th fastest. Let's go, Russell. 124. Attaboy, Russell. Ocon, 8th fastest. So, yeah, I mean, it's worrisome, honestly. Bottas is a 10th clear of Hamilton, but Verstappen 4/10 off of Hamilton's time. Alonso goes 4th fastest, 123.903. Wow, I told you the Alpines could have pace this weekend. We could see as we ride on board with Charles Leclerc here in the helmet cam. Yellow in the first sector, green in the middle sector, and looking pretty solid for the third sector so far. This helmet cam honestly is so cool. I need to see more of this for next season as well. And as well during I don't know how much they're gonna really show it during the race in the effort that might show some certain things. We saw Brazil obviously with Max Verstappen's driving in a way that they wouldn't show his onboard, but only 12th fastest for Leclerc, so clearly not the best. Again, he is on the medium tires, but regardless, an interesting strategy to go on mediums in Q1. So that is interesting for sure as well as we ride on with Perez as he goes for his flying lap. Green in the first sector, a little bit off of Hamilton's time, but it's still pretty close, so I could see him possibly finishing P2 here, setting the second fastest lap. Yeah, green in the first sector, looking pretty solid. I think Perez also has to have a good weekend to finish out the season strong because I know obviously he's struggled a little bit with Bottas, and I think Bottas, he struggled last race, which is why I think Mercedes has a really easy chance to pretty much wrap up the Constructors' World title here, just win it this weekend. I guess it's last race of the season, and they've pretty much wrapped it up. They've got a 28-point advantage, so it's highly unlikely that Red Bull were to win, but for whatever reason, as the Haas goes wide again, we're trying to get it out of the way. So green in the first two sectors for Perez. Verstappen right now on a flying lap. Yellow in the first sector only for Verstappen, so not a great lap from both Red Bulls, really. And these are on the soft tires as well. So, maybe once there's some more heat in the tires, they're able to get a faster lap in, but it's so far early on. Mercedes is showing the pace so far this weekend in terms of qualifying pace, for sure. Yeah, Alonso now into the pit. As you see some other cars, Sebastian Vettel and so on. Verstappen getting through his time lap. And where is he at? Minute 19 right now. A little bit behind. And he crossed the line. So second fastest. So like I said, not having enough faith in the Red Bull sometimes as I don't do. But Verstappen goes second fastest and only 56 thousandths of a second off of Hamilton's time. So really close there between Hamilton and Verstappen. And it's really anybody's game. Yeah, I think really Verstappen just needed to get some heat into the tires more. And once he did that, then he was able to get in there. So he was able to get a faster lap for sure. Perez currently P4. Russell currently sitting right now P14. He did go 8th fastest, but again, other cars then set the fastest lap. I don't see Russell maybe making it to Q2, but let's hope for it as the last race of the season. Still can't really improve his time. Goes only 14th fastest, 1.1 seconds off the pace right now of Hamilton's time. Ocon goes 7th fastest, so not terrible, but up in the top 10 there. I mean, in terms of who's making it related to Q2, I think that obviously both Mercedes and Red Bull will make it. The AlphaTauris will. McLaren's have a good shot to make it into Q2, as well as the Alpines, Ferraris, and then I would say probably maybe both the Aston Martins or one of the Aston Martins as well as George Russell. So and one of the Alfa Romeos for sure. Race control. Okay, so track limits. Turn 16. Time deleted for Pierre Gasly there. Pierre Gasly. So that's unfortunate. Something rolls across the track there. That's odd. It's not something we want to see all the time. Track temperature is 29 degrees Celsius, so it is hot there on the track. Air temperature is not too bad, but in terms of the track temperature, 29 degrees is still pretty warm for the tires for sure. And I think that's going to be an interesting thing this weekend as well, how the tires do and how people are able to manage that throughout the weekend and throughout the race as well, going on different strategies between if they want to go on a one-stop or a two-stop race, strategy race. So, there's something we seen. Yeah, red flag. And the session has been red flag because we've got something loose, and they do have to fix that. Yeah, that is a danger for the drivers for sure. I mean, it is off track, but it's really close to where the drivers could take the racing line, and we've got a session stop, red flag out. So as it stands, we'll let you know more when the session does resume. But obviously, if you're watching along, probably live on your second screen or anything like that. Oh yeah, just smoked the barrier. Of course, it was one of the Haas's. I mean, hey, not saying anything, just yeah, and then he just ran right over it. So that's why they had to red flag it. And then and then it got even stuck right in there. So yeah, it looks like a little plastic thing that just gets caught up there. So looks like cars are just gonna have to return to the pit lane or just most likely, they're going into the pit lane because it's been red flagged. So that's unfortunate, but as it stands right now, Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris, Perez, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Ocon, Alonso, Gasly are top 10. Sainz, Leclerc, 11th, 12th, Stroll, 13th, Russell, 14th, Giovinazzi, 15th, and in the bottom 5, Vettel, Raikkonen, Latifi, Mick Schumacher, and Nikita Mazepin in 20th, last place. No surprise really there, as the Haas has been struggling all season early. They haven't really done any development for the car this year at all. So they're focusing on 2022, which I'm excited about as well. I'm excited to see how Haas can do in 2022 and what they can do with their driver lineup to see, with Schumacher and with Mazepin as well. Because honestly, I think with a good car, those drivers can do well and, compete for like the midfield or maybe just not always be dead last for sure. So, well, until they clean that up, the session will be red flagged. But we can just keep talking. Session reviews at 17:14. So what is that? Okay, I think that's pretty much. That's like right now. It's like because it is 8:14 right now. So looks like that was a quick resume. That was a quick red flag. A very quick red flag. I wouldn't be surprised that they just put a yellow flag out and they just, have the cars slow down and then they could have someone go and pick it up. But I guess they had to red flag it because they had to get the cars off the track really quickly. And now they're going back on because that was a super quick red flag. They just had to quick go in and then quick go out. Just enough time to clear the track for the steward to get on there, or the marshal, sorry, and clear the track. So... And I think, honestly, in terms of my predictions for Q3, who's going to really make it into Q3, I think it's going to be Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Perez, I think that Norris or Ricardo will make it in there. I think Ocon will get in there. Gasly, maybe Alonso. Who knows? We'll have to see. So that's kind of my best bet for who's going to make it into Q3. And obviously, the fastest lap is yet to be set for the fast lap of the circuit so far, because with the new track changes, they can't set a new fast lap, as Charles Leclerc flying around the track right now, going for his timed lap. 5 minutes left in Q1 as it stands. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris, Perez, Tsunoda, Ricardo, Ocon, Alonso, Gasly, Sainz, Leclerc, Stroll, Russell, and Giovinazzi are your top 15 to make it into the next stage. Vettel right now on the brink. I would hate to see Vettel, even if it's last race of the season, or Raikkonen not make it into Q2. It's just, unfortunate. I mean, obviously Vettel's gonna be back next year. Raikkonen's not, but regardless, two legends got at least make it into Q2 for the last race of the season. But it's been a tough sledding for the German drivers. Oh yeah, losing it a little. Yeah, and like that turn 14 is really close there. And I think a lot of drivers could be caught up on it if they don't have enough tire grip, if they lose the rear. It could be, kind of the wall of champions in Canada, where you hit it and it's gonna be a thing. If drivers continue to hit it or continue to tap the wall a little bit. Yeah, because we saw in practice, Valtteri Bottas kind of kissed the wall there. So kissed the wall in turn 14 is where he kind of tapped the wall there. And it was close to, a crash. So look out for that this weekend. You're not even qualifying, but even in the race as well, for sure. So as Leclerc goes for his time lap, looking to improve, obviously, because he's only 12th fastest and looking to get into a safer, really feel safer, into that top 10 or even top 5 as well. But the Ferrari struggled a little bit this weekend so far with the pace from what we've seen from practice. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make it into Q2, or sorry, not into Q2, but into Q3, as he's 2/10 of Hamilton's. He's 2/10 off of the time of Hamilton's first sector. No, sorry, through 2 sectors. My bad, not through the first sector, through 2 sectors. As Sainz is on his time lap as well. Coming down through the last few corners, turn 14, 15, and 16. They're all getting very close to the wall, as they always do. Sainz goes 9th fastest ahead of Alonso, but behind Ocon. And Leclerc crosses the line 6th fastest. So a much better time there for sure for Charles Leclerc to feel much safer going into getting his chances into getting into Q2. So as you can see, people in the garage, lots of celebrities in the garage. I don't know who that is, actually. I don't know who they just showed. I'm not that well versed, other than a few celebrities here and there. So I also think as well, it's very interesting when they bring celebrities in that don't really know F1 or don't really watch the sport. I don't like that. I mean, I'm not particularly saying any person in particular, but we all know who we're talking about. But I think, honestly, we need people like Rowan Atkinson back. Like Rowan Atkinson, when he got interviewed back in, I think 2000, it was like early on. It's like when Lewis Hamilton was at McLaren. It was like 2009, 2008. And he went on a full-on discussion with Martin Brundle, like Lewis Hamilton, his chances of winning. I was like, that's what I love. That's what I love to see, So we need more Rowan Atkinson, people like that, to come to F1 races and who are celebrities and like to talk about F1 as well. So just under 2 minutes left here in Q1, ladies and gentlemen. Hamilton stands with the fastest lap right now at a 1:23.266. Verstappen, sorry, excuse me. Verstappen short behind him, 56,000 second behind. Bottas 1/10 behind. Norris 2/10 behind, and Perez on his outlap right now. He was about, I think, 3 or 4 tenths behind as Hamilton. Cool. So you get forgetting about 7 a.m., 8 a.m. to watch this early on qualifying. Alrighty, here we go. Through the first sector, coming down to the end. Again, it's a longer first sector, almost close to a minute. His lap time right now is 53.101 for the first sector. What's going to be so far here for his new lap? His latest lap is going to be a little bit slow. No, 3 tenths clear in the first sector, 3/10 faster in the first sector for Hamilton. Bottas a little bit slower, 225 thousandths of a second off of Hamilton's new sector 1 time. Obviously, Hamilton trying to improve as well as Bottas trying to beat out Verstappen, really. I think, honestly, if Verstappen is able to split the Mercedes or even get pole position, he has a really solid chance, But I think if he struggles in qualifying, even if he starts third, it's going to be a tough race weekend ahead. So Hamilton clears his fastest time by 4/10, gets a 1:22.845. Bottas goes next fastest. Oh, and Antonio Giovinazzi had a big lockup there. 1:23. 1:23 there. 2/10 off of Hamilton's time. Tsunoda goes fourth fastest, a 1:23.428. So a great time from Yuki Tsunoda, the young rookie driver. His season has been really up and down. And I think hopefully next season he'll be able to keep with consistency as well. Gasly goes fifth fastest. Perez only right now at fourth fastest, my bad. Fourth fastest for Perez right now, 1:23.350, which is looking good. Verstappen, third fastest as it stands right now. So Stroll looking to make it out of Q1, trying to get, in with his teammate, or trying to find a spot nestled in with his teammate to beat out Latifi. And he is going to do that. 13th fastest, which pushes Latifi down to the elimination zone as we finish up Q1. Hamilton goes fastest, Bottas second fastest, Verstappen third, Perez fourth, Tsunoda fifth, Gasly sixth, Norris seventh, Leclerc eighth, Sainz eighth fastest, my bad now. Leclerc ninth, Ocon, Ricciardo, Alonso, Stroll, Giovinazzi, and Vettel. Leclerc goes sixth fastest there to finish up the session, as a few people are still crossing the line. I wonder where Verstappen will finish here. I don't know if he's setting another lap time or not, but they haven't shown him yet, and I don't know if he is on an out lap. Hamilton going into the pits, so yeah, so far from what we've seen in qualifying, definitely Mercedes has the upper hand so far against Red Bull, 5/10, 4/10 quicker in just pure pace. So it's going to be tough sledding for Verstappen and Perez, really, to get into those, those first two positions. Mainly focusing on Verstappen because, he's still fighting for the championship. I would say, it's gonna be close. He's really gonna have to put in a solid lap here, and I think he has the ability to, for sure. But he's gonna have to be laser focused going into Q3 to beat out Hamilton, because Hamilton, the way that he's able just to drive the car like anybody, like nobody else really on the grid, and able to take the cars where it really shouldn't be. I mean, in terms of it's a fast car, it's built to be fast, but the laps that he puts in sometimes, in under certain conditions, it's just immeasurable. It's insane. So I think Verstappen's got to put in a similar type lap, which could be, a championship winning pole lap. Like, let's consider that as well. Because, if he gets pole position, he gets a good race start, he could very well, similar to Hamilton, drive away with the race win, just get a good race start and just drive off, have a good strategy, and just manage the tires well and be it like that. So I think this weekend, and particularly today, there is, implications for one driver putting, a championship winning pole lap together to win the 2021 World Drivers Championship, the Drivers World Championship, which, I mean, as we come to an end here, it's been a great season. I've loved covering F1 this whole season, and being able to, to have the platform to do so. It's been really great because, obviously when you have the opportunity to do something you love, it doesn't really feel like work. And this doesn't feel like work to me, honestly. This just feels like me having the opportunity to put a platform out there and to, share F1 content with you guys watching right now. So it's awesome. So I love it. As the season comes to an end, it's a bittersweet ending because, it's bitter because, it's the end of the season, but it's sweet as well because it's the last race of the season. And, we've got an amazing title fight on our hands right now, tied 369 to 369 or 369.5. That still pisses me off, the 0.5, but regardless, still interesting as well. The season that we've had and how close it is between the two drivers, between Hamilton and Verstappen right now. So, And looking at the best lap, obviously 4/10 slower than Hamilton right now is Verstappen. So it could be interesting to see, do they go on mediums here in Q2 to start the race on mediums and then go longer on the race on Sunday versus starting on the softs and going for an early strategy, like a earlier pit stop, and then just going to hards to the end of the race. It is really interesting as well if they're going to undercut, what are the different race strategies that teams are looking at. And I think as well, if you're Red Bull, you have to be on the ball with because last time out, they weren't really on the ball. They ended up putting Verstappen on the medium tires after the second red flag, I believe, and it just was a bad call. Again, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes, and I think they just made another costly mistake that could have cost them, I believe, really the race win and the chance at, a much different look. Because obviously, if Verstappen had won that race, he would have been 15, 14 points clear of Hamilton. And he literally, Hamilton could have won the race. Verstappen could have come second place. And he still would have won the championship then. And he would have feeling less stress going into the last race of the season. But I'm glad, we've got the situation as we do in the current standings, obviously tied right now. And really, in terms of the title race for the constructors, it's highly unlikely that Red Bull will win the constructors championship, as they have to outscore Mercedes by 28 points or more, which is highly unlikely, because that means pretty much both drivers would have to finish outside the points or near the bottom of the points, and Verstappen and Perez would have to finish up near pretty much first and second. Again, it's possible, but it's highly, highly unlikely based on the pace that Mercedes has shown, as well as for Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. So, and says Mercedes needs 17 points to guarantee the Constructors' Championship regardless of Red Bull's result. So, yeah, pretty much needs 17 points, and they have another 8th. And I think it should be interesting as well this season how they're feeling if Mercedes wins the Constructors' title, but Max wins the Drivers' World Championship. Which, I mean, look, going back to our predictions, really, it was interesting because I was just thinking as well. There's multiple people on our team. I predicted Lewis was going to win his 8th as well as the constructor title, and it's very well being the case. It's very well close to being the case. There was a couple of people who predicted Red Bull as the constructors, but Lewis Hamilton as the world champion. But now it's kind of the opposite, because pretty much Mercedes has the constructors championship wrapped up, but it's still in the fight. It's still up for grabs in terms of the drivers' title fight between Hamilton and Verstappen, which is tied. So it could go either way, and Verstappen could win his first, or Hamilton could win his 8th, and we could witness history. Regardless, we're witnessing history in the final race of the season, as Q2 is set to go underway, and I see medium tires on one of the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. So I think definitely there's some certain decisions being made between, and both medium tires on Hamilton and Verstappen. No surprise there, obviously. That might be Perez. No, I think it was both Red Bull. Sorry, that they have the medium tires on. So, I mean, it makes sense, honestly, because being as it may, going into, the last race of the season, for sure, you're going to want, to go longer, I feel, and then, possibly do a short stint on the hard tires. And then, probably a 2-stop strategy would be the best bet. Is you're going to go from mediums to hards, and then maybe, I would highly unlikely you might go back to a mediums or even a pair of softs near the end of the race, depending on how your tire conditions are and your tire degradation on your car is. So it's going to be interesting for sure to see what happens as Q2 is underway. Cars are out on track, and they're setting their going out for their out laps, as both Red Bulls and one AlphaTauri is out on track right now, as both Red Bulls just passed the AlphaTauri. Lots of fans in attendance, obviously, for the last race of the season with the new track changes. It should be exciting. Should be great. And as well, obviously, Abu Dhabi was announced yesterday. That is going to be the season finale for the next 10 years. And I think based on how the race goes on Sunday, it's going to be really the decision. It's going to really pretty much show an early documentation of really if it was the best decision for them to make this, the season finale for the next 10 years. Again, we've seen some good finishes in Abu Dhabi, 2016, 2010, 2011, 2012, different years and stuff like that. Or sorry, maybe 2011, 2012. But 2016 for sure, exactly when, Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton set out, for the title decider there. So I think realistically, based on the racing that we see this weekend, it's going to determine if another track should be, given the title for, the last race of the season, or if it should remain, or I guess if they made the right decision with making Abu Dhabi the next one for the next, making it for the next 10 years. But obviously, as looks like Hamilton is going for his first flying lap around the Yas Marina circuit, and so far the Delta time doesn't show correct, honestly, because right now, I don't know, whoever's doing the stats right now is not showing the right lap time, because right now it shows that Lewis Hamilton has a lap time of 7.5 minutes, which is not accurate right now. So when the Delta is like crazy positive for him in terms of straight green. So it's really hard to tell, but regardless, he's currently at about 40 seconds through the first sector. Let's see what his sector 1 time in is as he comes across, under the bridge, down the back straight there, and was he going to cross for sector 1 time. So, going to be a 52 something there. It was a 52.9, I think it was, for the first sector. So, interesting enough. Prez, obviously, through the first sector. And, no, I can't tell, really. So, 53.1 was the first sector for Lewis Hamilton. I don't know if Perez finished on that as well, but Hamilton right now going through the progressions of a lap, getting near the end, and he's going to cross the line, and a 1:23.185. So Verstappen goes second fastest in its 0.004 of a second, so close to Hamilton. That is a uber close lap there. Oh, just the milliseconds difference between a pole position lap or just second on the grid. So that is still very close between Hamilton and Verstappen. I think that it's going to come down. I mean, like, I know I say it every time, but it's going to come down to just one amazing lap from either one of the drivers, and it's going to be the difference right now. And again, these are on medium tires as well. So clearly both teams showing the pace on the medium tires. That's going to be interesting to see. What's interesting as well is that Verstappen is much closer on the medium tires compared to the soft tires he was in Q1. So interesting enough, I feel that maybe it's between the medium and the hard tires is where Red Bull has their pace advantage versus Mercedes. So I think that's maybe, okay, we'll start the race on the mediums, then we'll go to the hards, and we have a good chance that, beating out Mercedes to have a good chance here winning the race for Sunday. So I think that if Verstappen is able to put in a good pole lap and get, first on the grid, he has a solid chance of winning. But again, Hamilton, Hamilton's Hamilton. It doesn't matter. Verstappen can set the fast lap time in the world, and Hamilton can find certain tents in certain areas that just you wouldn't know were there, and able to make up a bunch of time to ultimately get pole position. Because obviously, as it stands, fast lap right now is a 1:23.1. We've seen for sure faster with the soft tires, a 1:22. So for Q3, for sure, we're going to be definitely getting some faster lap times as Ocon makes his way around the track for his first sector time, going through his first time lap of Q2 here. I don't think that's right for the first sector, because I don't think, they're doing it weird for the sector times here first. And I guess, because it's a quick first sector. So the delta times are all off on the quickest lap time, really, because they're showing Vettel's total lap time is a 1:12, which isn't accurate. I don't think it's even through the first two sectors, but it's just really weird the way that they're timing these delta sectors. So, they now fixed it, actually. Yeah, there we go. So through two sectors right now. So the first sector, 0.5 off of Hamilton's time right now. So should be interesting to see what happens here in Q2. 10 minutes to go. Under 10 minutes to go as it stands. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Tsunoda, Norris, Perez, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Vettel, and Gasly, your top 10. Obviously, both Ferraris have said no time, as well as Ocon, Ricciardo, and Alonso. They have not set a time. Ocon is now setting his time right now. And what's that time going to be? It's going to be 5th fastest for Ocon on 1:23.583. Not a terrible lap. Alonso goes 5th fastest, a little bit quicker than his teammate, 3/10 or 4/10 clear of that. And here comes the Ferrari. And Charles Leclerc goes 3rd fastest, a 1:23.2. So, and again, that's on the soft tires. Remember, that's on the soft tires. Sainz goes fastest on the soft tires, 1:23.174. So this is interesting to see, having them go in the soft tires versus the medium tires here. Really, again, it's Ferrari, so they're always coming up with interesting strategies for sure. As we see a replay of Max Verstappen, a big lock up there. Looks like he had to abandon that lap for sure. Shoot, my laptop's gonna die. Can't have that. That would not be good. Yeah, let's get my laptop plugged in. Alrighty. Q2, 7 minutes to go. Verstappen comes in the pits. Yeah, he's going to want to change the tires there after burning a little bit, losing it in the first corner there. So Charles Leclerc 4th fastest right now. Fastest overall is Carlos Sainz. Again, they're on the soft tires versus the mediums. An interesting strategy call from Ferrari, to go, because obviously for the race, they will have to start on the soft tires unless they can set a faster lap time on the mediums. So, set a new fastest lap on the mediums. And if they can't do that, then it's the fastest lap they have. And, that was a quick yellow flag, but now it's green flag back to. So track has been clear now. As we get back to resume to qualifying, Daniel Ricciardo on his way out to start his time lap, 6:10. So right now, 11th fastest. You can see Red Bull's just looking at the tire, looking over it to see what's going on. Yeah, making sure everything's okay. Getting some new tires fitted for Mr. Max Verstappen. 6:10, 6 minutes to go, and before we head to Q3, and it should be an exciting Q3, obviously, because pole position is on the line for the last race of the season. And I think, honestly, this season, from the different pole positions that we had, or qualifying battles that we've had, it's been very close between Hamilton and Verstappen, as well as other drivers, we've seen take pole. Valtteri Bottas took pole in Hungary after Lewis Hamilton's penalty, but regardless, he still put in a great qualifying lap and put in a great performance on Sunday during the rain, and was able to win that race. So obviously, because it's the last race for Valtteri Bottas for Mercedes before he moves to Alfa Romeo, and then the last race for George Russell before he moves to Mercedes. There's Alex Albon in the garage of the AlphaTauri, obviously, because he's a bit of a mentor for Yuki Tsunoda this season. And honestly, Yuki Tsunoda, great driver. He's got lots of potential. He struggled a little bit this season, but I think with the right mentor and the right people around him, again, I'm not saying Red Bull doesn't have the best people around him, in terms of the supports. I think Red Bull needs to look at, hiring an advisor, like a former racing driver who's actually going to be in there. Like a Niki Lauda that was for Mercedes, because if Red Bull's able to do that, then I think they're able to corral these young drivers and push them in the right direction so that they don't become these hot-headed people. I hate to say it, but Max Verstappen is a hot-headed driver. He's got a temper. He's learned to control it for sure, but he still is hot-headed for sure. And I think that they really don't have the best people there on the team pushing in the right direction for them. So I think that if they're able to have, someone like Niki Lauda come in, a former racing driver who really raced for Red Bull, like, David Coulthard or even a Mark Webber, saying, listen, okay, you're young kids, you're young drivers, but you need to learn how to control your anger, your temper, as relates to driving and racing and really finding the limit, because Verstappen has found the limit very times and gone over the limit many times as well this season. And we've seen that before. So as it stands, the youngest world champion is still Sebastian Vettel, 23 years and 134 days. Lewis Hamilton was 23 years and 300 days, but Max Verstappen right now, I believe, is 24. So he missed out on that opportunity to become the youngest world champion. But regardless, he's still going to make history winning his first world championship for Red Bull. First of many, I feel. First of many. So obviously 3 minutes to go. Outlap as it stands for a lot of drivers. As it stands, Sainz, Hamilton, Verstappen are your top three. Leclerc, Bottas, Tsunoda, Alonso, Ocon, Norris, and Perez. So hopefully Perez can pick it up a little bit and get into the top five here, because, you know, Red Bull is going to need him on Sunday to help out. Because I know that even though the championship isn't yet over technically for the constructors, but the drivers' championship is still much in fight, and they want to be able to use Perez any way they can, because he's pretty much secured fourth position. He's not going to move up anywhere in the grid, to get past Bottas. So I think, he's got to be a team player here, and he's got to fill a bit of a Bottas role and just, help Lewis, similar to how Valtteri Bottas helps Lewis Hamilton. He's going to help Max Verstappen potentially win the race on Sunday, doing any way he can. If they have to, force him to go long, to force Mercedes to change their strategy, which benefits Verstappen. And there are about 4, 5, 6 cars just right now trying to, set their, it's a bit of a traffic jam here around the last few corners at the Yas Marina circuit, as drivers are now starting to get up to full speed here. And it looks like the Mercedes is towing right behind the Alpine there. 2 minutes to go in Q2. Right now, as it stands, obviously, last 5 qualifying sessions for Max Verstappen. First, second. So he's come second best off second best for Lewis Hamilton multiple times. And Max Verstappen's slowing down quite a bit. I think he just wants to wait for the traffic to clear so that he has enough space here to set his time lap. As now we've got the first car going around for their time lap is, I believe, Esteban Ocon there. So, no, Fernando Alonso, my bad. Fernando Alonso. And we've got a track hazard. A yellow flag is out. I wonder what that could be. Or it's just the fact that cars are stopping on the grid because we've got a stopped car. No, never mind. It's clear now. That's odd. Probably because there was just so many cars slowing down. And because what they're doing right now is they're just pretty much pacing themselves. And they're trying to, separate themselves amongst their other drivers, their other fellow rivals. So Alonso right now flying around the Yas Marina circuit. And he is on the soft tires as well. So only a few teams really running with the mediums. I believe Red Bull, Mercedes, and AlphaTauri are the teams that are running with the mediums. 0.2 off Sainz time there is Alonso in the first sector. Looking now ahead to the second and third sector here. So Hamilton a 10th up on Sainz time, even on the mediums. That's crazy. That's what I mean. Like, Sainz went on the medium. Sorry, Sainz is on the soft tires. Hamilton's on the medium tires, and he's pretty much 0.2 up on the first sector on Sainz's lap so far. Through the first 2 sectors. Sorry, I believe what it was. But here he comes across the line. Alonso only 7th fastest for Alonso. Norris goes 9th fastest as we near the end. And Hamilton goes fastest with a 1:23.145. Where will we see Verstappen finish? And as well as Perez as they kind of cross the line. Lance Stroll, only 12th fastest for Lance Stroll, and is unable to make it into Q3. And here comes Perez across the line. And Perez goes fast with a 1:23.135. So well done, Sergio Perez. Tip my cap to you, because that was a very good lap from Sergio Perez to beat out Hamilton by 10 milliseconds. I believe he had 10 milliseconds there. Ocon lost it a little bit near the last few corners there, setting his kind of fast lap right now, currently in P9 as it stands. And he is going to cross the line going 8th fastest, so he slightly improves, is safe there in the into Q3 right now as it stands, but slowly being pushed down potentially. Verstappen is yet to cross the line. Verstappen goes fast with a 1:22.8 flat. Wow. So, and again, that was on the soft tires. Okay, so this is interesting. So Hamilton sets his lap time on a medium tire, and I'm pretty sure Perez probably would be on the soft tires as well, which he is as well. Yeah, so they're both on the soft tires, which makes sense why they're a little bit faster than Hamilton. So interesting strategy from Red Bull to go with the soft tires for the race start. So Mercedes looking at the long game, really, in with obviously being on the medium tires, but most other drivers are on the softs here getting into Q3, which is interesting for sure. It's interesting. I mean, I don't understand the situation because, again, if you want to go early, you want to go softs on for the race and then you want to go to hards. Like, are they going to go soft, mediums, and then to the mediums again? Like, it's going to be a two-strap strategy. Like, what's the strategy here, Red Bull? We don't know yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But it's definitely interesting for sure just to see the different decisions that are being made by the team as Q2 wraps up. Verstappen is your fastest driver right now, fastest overall with a 122.8. Then Perez, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, Leclerc, Bottas, Norris, Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricardo, Alonso, Gasly, Stroll, Giovinazzi, and Vettel. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Alrighty, Q2 is under stopping now, obviously, as we track hazard. Very close. Oh, yeah, we've got a stop car on the way. Yellow flags are out there. So we'll have to see. Wait and see. Sylvia Payne, VarkTech. What is VarkTech, Sylvia? What is VarkTech? Please explain that. I don't know what you mean by that comment there. So you'll have to explain that one to me. Or is it? Oh, I think you meant VTech. Maybe VTech is the Honda. What's up, Alex? Welcome to the stream. Q2 is finished up right now. Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton, Sainz, and Leclerc are your top 5 as it stands right now. Obviously, Verstappen and Perez going on soft tires versus hard versus the mediums, which is what Mercedes was on. So an interesting strategy move there from Red Bull. And I don't know if it will pay off on Sunday, but only time will tell if starting on the soft tires is the better move. Obviously, they're going to have to go a little bit shorter. So the undercut could be possible. Undercut over overcut could be possible depending on the track position on Sunday, depending on where they start the race. So that's going to be very interesting as well. Track temperature is still pretty common. 28 degrees Celsius as it stands right now. So not overly warm, but still a little bit spicy compared to here in Canada for sure. It's a little bit nicer there in Abu Dhabi. But I mean, like that, it all depends on how the track really is going to do, or how the drivers are going to do in managing their tires. So it's going to be interesting for sure to see what happens into Q3. And I think for my Q3 predictions, it's just going to be playing the obvious. I think, honestly, if they're going to be on the soft tires, which I think they will qualify on the soft tires because it's the fastest material, or the fastest tire to be put on. I think that Hamilton is going to get pole position. I think that is just going to be the case. Verstappen, even though they've shown an immense amount of pace on the soft tires, I think that Hamilton is just going to put an insane lap together, and really able to, get pole position. So I think that is going to be the case where Verstappen isn't going to get pole. He's going to get second on the grid just behind Hamilton. I think it's going to be very, very close. And again, if Verstappen proves me wrong, I'm okay with that, because last time I jinxed him. So this time I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx him. So even though I probably just jinxed him by saying that, but regardless, anyways, knock on wood again to be safe, because as a Verstappen fan, I don't want to jinx my favorite driver into, hitting the wall or anything like that. So, but what's interesting as well is that Verstappen only has one pole position in the last 7 Grand Prix, which his last pole position was in Austin, Texas. So interesting enough, obviously he's won some races in between that. He won in USA, he won in Mexico. So obviously not being on pole position isn't crucial, but having the advantage of starting first on the grid is important for Sunday, for the race, for sure. So, and Hamilton is seeking a first hat trick of pole since September 2020, really. So, yeah, because he's gotten the last 2 pole positions. I thought he's got the last 3, but yeah, well, I guess he definitely did get pole in Brazil. So, because then it was Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and then Abu Dhabi would be the last one for the hat trick, for the third hat trick. So, yeah, Yuki Tsunoda is doing well up there in P8. So he's putting together a good lap time. A good lap time for sure. And a good session so far from the young driver. As it stands right now, pole positions for the Yas Marina circuit. Hamilton, Bottas, Hamilton, and Verstappen. So it's crazy how much quicker the lap times are. Like even like 2020, a minute 35, 246. And now because of the immense changes that they made, the lap times are around 123, 122 on the soft tires, you know? So like 12, 13 second difference between this year and between last year and this year is massive, really is a massive difference. So I think it's going to be super exciting to see the track changes as well, like what we've seen so far and how they do on race day on Sunday, which is tomorrow. As we get to near the start of Q3, 12 minutes ago in the final qualifying session of the season, it has been an absolute ball, honestly, this year between, the driver's title, constructor's title, everything that's happening on and off the track as well, all the drama. It all comes down to really this final qualifying session, which could ultimately decide the title for 2021, depending on where certain drivers qualify or finish for sure. As the red lights go out and we've got a green light as Q3 is underway and Perez and Verstappen lead the way for the other drivers as both Red Bulls are making their way out on the track. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, honestly. This, what we get in qualifying in Q3, see who's on pole position. I think that Hamilton's going to take it. Verstappen's going to go second. Perez will go third. Bottas fourth. It'll be Norris to Tsunoda, Sainz, Leclerc, Ricciardo, and then Ocon will be 10th fastest. That's kind of my prediction as it stands right now. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget it. But as it stands right now, that's what I feel is going to be my prediction. Is the case going to be for Q3? So as we near the end here of the last qualifying session, as drivers make their way out on track. Let me write down my qualifying suggestion right here in my little notebook here. Hamilton. Yes, Hamilton. And I know you're probably saying, it's like, oh, okay, like, why aren't you picking Verstappen? I was like, okay, well, I have to be realistic as well, because I can't just say Verstappen's going to win all the time. And I think that Hamilton really has all the momentum so far this season, has the momentum as of late this season, and really has the best chance at getting pole position and winning the race. But again, I'm still cheering for Verstappen. I'm still cheering for my boy Verstappen. So Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez. I got some confidence in Perez. He'll finish up there in the top three for qualifying. Then Bottas, Valtteri Bottas. Then I got Yuki, honestly. Yuki's going to, put together a great lap, and Yuki Tsunoda is going to put it up there. So I got Yuki Tsunoda. Got Leclerc. Changing a little bit. Sainz. Norris. Ocon, Ricciardo. Make sure I missed anybody. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay. So as it stands right there, that is my qualifying predictions right there. You can see it there. You got Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez, Bottas, Yuki Tsunoda, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, Ocon, and Ricciardo. Verstappen right now on his flying lap, as well as Hamilton. Again, he's early on Delta times. They really need to fix this because this just bothers me. I mean, like, you're probably watching it too, and you're like, well, okay, there's no way he's doing a 7-minute lap time. Yes, that is inaccurate. It's not a 7-minute lap time. Okay, as he comes across the line here, coming to the last few corners, where will Verstappen, what lap time will he set? Because obviously he set a fast lap at 1:22.8, and he is flying around the Yas Marina circuit here, crosses the line, and it's going to be 1:22.13. What is that lap time? Yeah, 1:22, 1:09. So pretty much almost 1:22 flat there So very fast lap from Verstappen. But here comes Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion, could be 8-time world champion, around the last few corners. And where does he cross the line? Only time will tell. Come on, last corner. Oh, lost it a little bit there in the rear, and he's only going to get, yeah, he lost it there in the last corner, a 1:22.660. So 5/10 is off Verstappen's time, sorry. Yeah, I think in that last corner he lost a little bit, lost the rear a little bit, and that's what caused that lap to go away, because he was definitely on pace to probably beat out Verstappen there early on in this Q3 session. But again, he probably will look to do another time. Ricardo's 6th fastest right now out of 1:23.489. So Tsunoda 3rd fastest as it stands. Bottas, well, this is all, again, they haven't said their new lap times, but Leclerc, Sainz 5th fastest over Leclerc. So interesting enough. Interesting enough. So I got Yuki Tsunoda P5, and Yuki Tsunoda right now is P3 as it stands. Again, I don't know if he set a new fast lap or not, another flying lap or not, but he hasn't really. So I mean, like, it's honestly, it's great to see Yuki into Q3, you know, because obviously Gasly missed out, which was unfortunate. But obviously having an AlphaTauri up in the Q3, which is great to see. I love to see it, especially Yuki Tsunoda, the rookie. So, and Perez goes 3rd fastest, 1:22.968. So another solid lap from Sergio Perez to beat out Valtteri Bottas, which is all that he needs to do, because, you know, Verstappen and Hamilton will fight back and forth, and really Perez's job is to ward off Bottas and finish ahead of Bottas in terms of the qualifying position. So, and he's able to do that. So, Tsunoda setting no time so far as it stands right now and going into the pits. So, could we have a problem with Yuki Tsunoda? Possibly. As it looks like Perez now is into the pits, or no, sorry, that's Max Verstappen into the pits. And it looks like Mercedes as well going into the pits of Lewis Hamilton. So, yeah, pretty much they're now just going to sit there for the next couple 4 or 5 minutes. So, before they go out for one final lap here, in about a couple minutes from now, when they go for the out lap and then their final qualifying lap, just to see as their Lewis Hamilton's little visor is going to be ripped off, the little plastic visor. Race control. Yuki Tsunoda has track limits at turn 16 lap deleted for 1:23 flat. So it was deleted. Lap time was deleted. Alrighty, where do we stand? 5 minutes to go in Q3 here, ladies and gentlemen. Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Bottas, and Sainz are your top 5 as it stands. Leclerc, Norris, Ocon, Ricardo, and Tsunoda, who set no time, is where we stand right now in terms of the top 10 and the grid positioning for Sunday's race. 8 a.m. Don't want to miss it. It's going to be an early one for sure. Got to wake up early again tomorrow morning, so can't stay up too late watching the UFC fights. But yeah, as it stands, I think honestly, one thing I want more to say about this as well this season is that really it's great to see that we've, seen many different winners or podium finishers this season as well. And I think it's going to be more relevant next season with the new regulations and the new changes coming to see which teams will be fastest. We'll see more McLaren podiums. We'll see hopefully more Ferrari podiums and more race wins as well, just to see as we got 5 minutes to go in Q2, because I think that's all we want as fans. We just want to see continuous improvement and close racing. I think that next year's cars will bring it with the new regulations, teams, and obviously with the budget cap, obviously at 145 million, teams, will be able to race closer together. We're going to see closer battles. We might see, a 3-person battle for the Drivers' World Championship, which I'd love to see, not just 1 or 2 drivers fighting for, it's not just one single driver, Lewis Hamilton's getting away with it, or even 2 drivers like we've seen so far this year, but potentially 3 drivers this year we've seen. So it's going to be interesting for sure as well to see as drivers probably about 2 minutes will go out for their out lap, and then their last time lap will be underway very soon as we pretty much wrap up this qualifying watch along. And I appreciate everyone who's watched along with me. If you've joined, rejoined, whatever the case may be, or if you're still watching right from the beginning, I do appreciate it as well. It's much appreciated. All the support is much love for sure from you guys. Because, obviously without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this and be able to have a platform to really watch F1 and do this. So I appreciate you guys for sure. As 3 minutes in, counting under the clock for sure. And yep, there goes out Hamilton. So on a fresh set of soft tires, as well as Valtteri Bottas. So Verstappen's still sitting in the garage as it stands right now. And yep, he's about to come out. It's cat and mouse between Red Bull and Mercedes. As there go the Red Bulls out. As about 3.5 minutes remain here in this Q3 session. Yeah, should be a great last few minutes here. And I wonder if they're between the two Mercedes drivers, if one of them is going to give their teammate a tow of any way to help them any way possible. Because obviously Bottas and Perez both have kind of secured P3 and P4 in the championship, but P1 and P2 are still up for grabs between Verstappen and Hamilton. So I think that really having the Red Bulls the opportunity to give the opportunity to have a tow of some sort from their teammate would be crucial. So as they go for their outlap as it stands right now. So there's Verstappen going by his teammate, Sergio Perez. So they're just showing some replay. I don't know what they're showing really, but I guess they're just showing someone slowing down and Max Verstappen passing him, but clearly talking about something. Two minutes to go here in Q3, ladies and gentlemen. It's the last qualifying session of the season. A little bit of a bittersweet moment there for sure. We're not going to have to wake up on a Saturday and watch qualifying again. But again, still lots of racing series going on. And F2 as well happened this weekend. Oscar Piastri, rookie world champion. He's now won F3 and he's now an F3 and an F2 champion as well. So it's crazy. I mean, like 2023, he's going to be an F1. He's got to be an F1. For sure. So I'm excited to see what he can do next season in F2 as well, if he's able to repeat. And let's go along with Lewis Hamilton as he sets his lap time here. Final flying lap here around the Yas Marina circuit. Verstappen with the first sector was a 16.853 for the first sector. And it's he's not quick enough. 49 milliseconds off the pace there of Verstappen's time, so he's going to have to make up the time somewhere else through the second sector. It's a very early on, quick first sector. It's only like 20 seconds or something like that, 20 seconds. As we get through to the second sector, Verstappen's time was a 52.496. We'll have to see where Hamilton lines up with that as well. Verstappen is now on his time lap. Now, let's see. So let's see where he goes, where he set off to. So through two sectors, Hamilton is still slower, 1/10 behind, a 10th off Verstappen's time, his current time as it stands, which was a 1:22.109. So we'll have to see if Hamilton is able to improve on that time, or if Verstappen is able to improve on his time anymore, because obviously 30 seconds left. He will technically be able to one more lap, because he will cross the line before the end of the Q3 session. As he crosses the line, it's going to be a 1:22.480, so a little bit quicker, but unable to improve. And I think he's going to go right away for another timed lap, possibly. This is now Verstappen's time lap. He was just on his out lap. So now we're alongside with Max Verstappen as he goes around for his final flying lap of Q3. And I don't know if Hamilton's going to. I think Hamilton has to go for another fine lap here as Verstappen goes a little bit wide there on the edge. Where is he going to finish? Norris goes P3, 1:22.931. Perez finishes P4. So Norris, get up there. Well done, Lando Norris. And I don't think, he's not going to push it because he doesn't have to improve. What is he? Oh, no. So I think right now, as it stands, Verstappen is on pole. I don't think Hamilton is going to make another attempt at a flying lap. I don't think he is. Is he? No, I don't think he is. I think that's it. Verstappen is on pole as it stands right now, unless I don't see the checkered flag from Hamilton, the little checkered flag beside Hamilton's name. But it looks like Verstappen is on pole position for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hamilton P2 right now, Norris P3, Perez P4, Sainz finishes 5th. Bottas still has yet to go around. I think Hamilton's still flying. He is not done yet. I don't think he is. I don't think no, it's the end of the session. I'm lost here. I'm lost actually. Because I don't see the little checkered flag. Like he hasn't crossed the line technically.
And I don't know if he's on another flying lap here. They aren't showing anything if he's on a timed lap, but yeah, I don't think he's going to be taking pole position because he's moving very slowly across the line. Yeah, no, for sure. So Verstappen is on pole position for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. You don't want to miss it. Wow, what a qualifying session. What a lap there from Max Verstappen. I mean, honestly, Hamilton just really couldn't put it together. But Lando Norris, well done, Lando Norris, because I was not expecting that. I was expecting him down in P7. So Lando Norris, you smashed my expectations. Well done, Sergio Perez as well, finishing P4. So as it stands right now, we've got a 3-split podium between Red Bull, Mercedes, and McLaren. Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris, Perez, Sainz, Bottas, Leclerc, Tsunoda, P8, not bad. Ocon, P9, and Ricciardo, P10. So as it stands, there you are. As we're going to see, hopefully the drivers come out soon. Very good lap from Max Verstappen, might I say. A very solid lap with a 1:22.109 that was set earlier in the session. Hamilton was unable to improve on his time and beat out Verstappen, and Verstappen really didn't have to push it anymore because he knew he had already gotten pole position at that time. And really, so well done to Max Verstappen. A great end of the season for sure for Red Bull fans, at least for say. I mean, like, hey, Sunday's still the race, lots to be decided. Obviously qualifying was a big question going on because whoever gets pole position in qualifying really has the best chance to win the race, but it's still up for grabs in my mind in terms of who has a chance at winning on Sunday. But being on pole position definitely gives you the best chance for sure. Max Verstappen in Formula One, 10 pole positions for this year. That's just absolute madness. 10 pole positions in 22 rounds of racing. So pretty much almost half the races that he has competed in, he has gone pole position. There's his girlfriend, Kelly Piquet, as well as some other team members as well, celebrating with him. Probably want to talk to his dad as well, Jos Verstappen, celebrate with him as he was happy in the garage, watching his son get pole position. And as you can see, going to get interviewed very soon. Yeah, just going to do the weight scale. Well, that's pretty much going to do it for our show today. Thank you guys for watching along with me for one last time. Make sure to tune in on Sunday afternoon, midday, for our Abu Dhabi Grand Prix post-race show powered by the Intermission Sports, our last one of the season as well. We'll probably do a recap show as well a little bit later on, maybe a week from now, just to kind of go through all this madness from the season that has happened so far. Looking at most impressive driver, least impressive driver, most impressive team, least impressive team, who's the most surprising driver, best race of the season, best race, race win of the season for sure. But anyways, have a great weekend. Happy Saturday. And we will see you tomorrow for the post-race show. Thank you and have a good day.